go anywhere without having the damn hover truck anyway, so I'm going to be stuck here, so why not look up on the interwebs?
Okay, and Truthsayer can go ahead and roll another 21 dice.
21 dice? Okay.
Well, it's 7 dice for the first time, and then each time you roll successively, it's minus another one. But I'm only taking the first one for whether you glitch or anything. And Twitch can go ahead and also roll another 21 dice.
Oops. Oh no. Did I roll? I don't see my roll.
I don't see a roll either.
I'll roll again.
All I see is one by Truthsayer for 8 dice.
Fuck, Grips. Maybe I do need to remove my damn token ownership from you.
See? Every time. Every time. Alright, the first one I got, it would have been 9, yeah. Should have been 9 dice, but I got 3 hits. I must have typoed. Yeah, and then I got the first, so it's 4 hits, because I got 1 more hit on the second one I rolled.
Okay, other than that, I don't see any rolls.
I had my 3 hits from my data search and then 7 hits from my 21 dice. Fucking
Yeah.
Gripson actually make the data search roll with your character token, so as to
Yeah, I'm
the
gonna do
confusion
that.
now.
Alright, same result. Yeah, I told you, you just got to put that off limits to me, because I'm just, for whatever reason, I click on that, because it's the shades and the beard. They just look the same to me somehow.
Another 36 dice for Coyote. Just hit the roll button and then type in 36 dice.
Yeah, I was just titling it.
Have a browse program which he'd like to use to make a data search as well, Jordan?
I don't even know. I actually never even fiddled with that stuff.
Does your comlink have a browse program? It's an important question.
I think so.
Is there actually one on the Chummer character sheet for your character? Did you get one?
Nope.
Then you don't have one. Do you have any programs on the comlink?
I have the OS.
Alright. In that case, that's a situation that Sean talked about earlier in the IM back. We were still making our characters. Vice really can't do anything with the Matrix at all.
He can barely look up some things, like no, you don't have any skills in it, do you? Yeah, your thing maybe will let you visit pages, but it does so very badly and sort of displays the information in well, you're not tech unsavvy, you just have absolutely nothing installed at all, like not even Java.
Have a search engine because you don't have the browse program, so you can't look up information on the Matrix, for instance.
Yeah, Google's not really free anymore.
Basically, you have a phone.
That's what I wanted.
Then you've got exactly what you want.
Go,
I'll look
Sean.
into getting.
That's
I'll
what
look
that's the
into
best I
getting
got.
I'll look into getting some browse functions later.
Go ahead and give me a moment to make sure the dossiers contain all the information you now know, and I'll sum it up.
Gripson, why are you such an old man? Why can't you tell our tokens apart?
I don't know, man. Some kind of mental block. I don't know. I just can't tell you. I'm going to have to stop looking at faces. I'll just say mine has red or orange on it. And so there, that's my token. That should help.
Your token is an angry, vibrant red. Mine, it has the gray border that's my favorite MapTool token border. You guys should be familiar with how I've used it so much in the VTM game by now. And I actually have, my programs active, my full auto thing if you mouse over me. I'm currently hidden. I have a -1 wound modifier. I have that crazy part in the middle of my mustache, below my nose.
Oh, like I can see all that when I'm all the way zoomed out. Come on. But I should have been able to notice the
maybe you shouldn't be so zoomed out. Maybe you should focus on the token.
You use the mouse wheel.
Oh, I don't have one of those.
Come on.
I have one of those single button Mac. I'm kidding.
I don't have a mouse wheel. I do not, and yet I still manage to use the mouse wheel. Okay, the short of the information and they should be updated properly. The short of the information is that sometime in what was it? 47. Catherine left LA, just up and disappeared, and really no indication that she was there at all. And that was right around the time Allison's birth was. From there, you don't have information on her until she suddenly pops back up in LA in 47. Sometime right after the second crash. So sometime for most of the 40s, she was outside of LA and then appears basically out of nowhere back into LA with money. And can't find much about her family. It seems to have been fairly intentionally obfuscated.
I have a question, though. It says that she came back in around 47, right around the time her daughter, and then the sentence ends right there. It seems like there should be a verb or something.
Yeah,
the sentence just terminates. Well, damn it! Damn it, Sean!
Yeah, refreshing it should be fine now. So, sorry. She left in 47, reappeared around the second crash. Which may have been wrong from what the dates I just drew. So, 47, she left LA, just disappeared, and then came back in the second crash and seems to have had money at some point. What exactly that means? Don't really know. You can't find any information, can't dig up any sources that really give you much else, and there's just not a lot of good information out there that's available that you can find.
So the daughter looks about 16, give or take.
No, she looks to be in her 20s. She's her.
Oh, that's right.
birthday
She's a human. Never mind. It's like the first darn line. Yeah. Okay.
Also, you cannot find who the father is. Like, she doesn't have it listed on her profile. Looking around, doesn't seem to be any indication of who it is at all.
Going to Mari then. Get him to do some paternity tests.
Also, there are... One thing I do want to clarify is that there are records indicating she was in the PCC, Public Corporate Council, for most of her life, but they're all dry academic records that could be faked. And all of you know this, being Shadowrunners, that it looks like it doesn't look like they're fake. They're good records, whatever they are, but there's nothing else to indicate that she was in the PCC except for those sort of dry, fakeable records.
What can we tell about the bar itself?
The bar doesn't get a dossier. Let's see. The bar is not on the main strip, but instead it's on a connecting side road. So it's off the actual main downtown sort of freeway. It's not in the glamorous spots. It's not in the places where all the A-lists go. It's not the main hangout of the rich and famous, close enough to the real glamour that it gets some regular cast-offs. B-listers, the occasional A-lister. Every now and again, someone of actual worth does indeed come in. The main meat of their business, from what you can tell, seems to be B-listers mingling with the upper echelons of middle management, trying to look like they belong in fancier places. And it also appears to be pedo exclusive. You have to have a pedo to get in.
But it's the type of place that a spy drone would not be looked to askance at, since there are B-list stars and that type of thing.
Yeah, outside, you can probably get some kind of pictures or something. You'll notice drones all up and down. Like, there's average block, there's at least a dozen drones every block. More when someone famous actually comes through. Looking around the place, you don't... It looks the same. There's maybe a dozen, half dozen drones, give or take, depending on time of day, who's there, just sort of floating around outside. That said, it would be difficult to sneak one in. You're gonna have to actually, like, get it in the door when someone's looking, so.
Right. Well, depending on how many entrances and exits there are, I would guess at least 2. If there are more than that, it might be hard to scope them all out with the drones Coyote has. But I don't know that he could find that on the Matrix. I would assume he just looked at like the just the main matrix entry for it, where you could make, well, if it were a restaurant, you'd make reservations and that type of thing.
Maybe went on future Yelp.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that it's P2 exclusive pretty much prohibits us from entering on an official matter unless we want to. I'm sure they sell invitations on the black market for like 20,000 nuyen if we're like interested in trying to search for them.
Well, if you're looking for something, you can find them for as low as 5,000. Good ones can run upwards of 20, yeah. Not that any of you know that.
Maybe we could put the place under surveillance.
That was my thought. Just if nothing else, I can leave a couple drones out there. They won't be out of place. People shouldn't be too worried about them.
Yeah, at the moment we don't really need to know much other than who's going in and out, right?
Really all the drones would be looking for, as well as anyone else who wants to stand up there, is, and now that we're familiar with her, the face of Allison, Rosanna Mays. She looks like she'd be distinctive enough with that fucking picture. So, and I'm sure all of her clothes have that rather absurd sort of look to them. Ostentatious.
Well, so long as you don't drag any tokens onto it and start rolling things, I'll open up a map of the place, and you can drag a vision token, whatever drones you're going to put onto it there. Just copy and paste them.
All right.
He said, don't make any rolls on the downtown bar.
Or if you're going to, tell me ahead of time so I can make sure Koala's there.
All right, I have 2 of them copied.
Well, you can visit the map. I made it player visible.
Yeah, I'm loading it up.
I said ostentatious. I was referring to the lady figure, not the entire establishment itself. Would you look at that? Oh my god. It's crazy.
So you told me that immediately to make about 20 rolls to make sure they could stealth their way in and stuff like that?
I think you wanted you to make like 21 rolls.
Okay.
21 rolls of 20 dice, at least.
I definitely heard him say that.
Sean's buying it.
So you can paste your tokens anytime if you want.
Yeah, I'm still loading the map. I'm at 56 of 78.
I'm at 70. I'm at 62 of 78. Even though I'm not
apparently,
here technically.
I'm at 45.
Apparently Grimith's the only one allowed to see it.
Yeah.
Then.
And even then, I don't have any tokens here, well, that I want to put on because I'm not going there, so I won't. So I'm just remarking up the ostentatiousness.
Okay. I do have a question. Can you see vision? Can you see the guards out front?
And I can only see what you've made revealed, but there's still a fog of war because you have the vision-based type situation. So I have nothing that has vision capabilities on the map. I can just see the pretty decorations you've put in like in a bar area. I can see like a DJ floor.
What about now? Can you see the...
Yep, sure
there
can.
should be a vision. Okay.
Yep.
So it does have to be visible to you for it to give you vision.
Yes, Sean.
Well, the way I set it up,
Is
Like,
that
if
how
I
vision
click-
works?
if I click it and make it not visible to you, the vision goes away.
Way we don't have
Because-
any attachment to that token. And now we can see because Crimson put his tokens on the map.
Okay, then one last question. Can you see inside the place?
We
I
can
can.
see we can see inside now. I don't know what you did that suddenly revealed it to be the case, but we can see inside and now it's gone.
And it's
Okay,
gone.
so I just have to make ownership. Okay, so now I know how to do that. Thank you.
Yep, sure thing, not a problem.
You can go ahead and drop your things wherever they are. There are buildings like around the place. I'm just not drawing an entire city block for you to visit. Just one building.
Gotcha. Yeah, the main things I was going to have the fly spy keep an eye on the entrance, and the Kanmushi keep an eye on the back entrance there.
So is the fly spy like actually just floating there? Like just standing there? Because most of the drones that are coming through, they go through and they move and they have like labels of who owns them and things like that. Most of them are fairly large, about the size of a toaster. Fly spies like a little mosquito looking at it. It's like looks like it's intended to be hidden. The drones you see floating around usually aren't. They're usually labeled with what company owns them or what individual, and they're larger.
If there is, say, an awning or a light post or something like that in front of the door, the fly spy will land on top of it or on the side of it with a good view of the door and will just camo itself, with the chameleon coating.
No real good place like that. That said, it is a 2-story building, so you could put it like somewhere up on the second floor. And
Sure, we'll fly it up to, on the wall near above the door somewhere, like say, 15 feet up right there or something.
okay. So you drop that there, and how do you get them there? And where is the Kenrishi to?
Yeah, well, Coyote is going to go, we'll have to come down there and do it. He'll have to park a block or two away and send them out at some point. So if we're going to do this, he's going to come bring his drones and do that.
Okay, that'll take a few hours. Anyone else want to do something in those few hours, and go ahead and put the Kenmushi wherever you want it to?
Say, well, before that gets done, we're taking... So Vice and I, at the very least, are taking the hover truck so that we can get to his bolt hole, so that we can move this bastard. And then we can send the hover truck back, maybe with Vice in it, regardless if he wants to come with you guys instead of being boring. But we talked about relocating this guy. His position is compromised here, and me warding this location won't make as much of a difference, although it would help a little. If so that no one could say actually project themselves into the bolt hole, but we're going to be relocating. Unless Vice has suddenly had a change of heart.
All right, with that, I just a quick question. If you're taking the hover truck, which no problem, except that how does Coyote get to town? He's going to have to borrow some kind of other vehicle. I don't think he would have brought his...
As I said, Crimson, I only need the truck to get me there. The truck can make its way back because we've had it use the pilot program before.
Oh, right. I was wondering how much longer that would take then for Coyote to, because instead of 1 or 2 hours, that might mean 2 or 3 hours before he gets there.
Another 5 minutes to drive down to that bolt hole real fast and drive up. And the thing does, I think, more than 60 miles an hour.
Right.
And it's only 4 miles away.
Isn't so much getting to the mainland, Crimson, it's driving once you're on the mainland.
Oh yeah, Yeah, I wasn't sure where the bolt hole was. I wasn't sure about how hard it was to get there because I don't know anything about that. So since we're making a round trip one place, I wanted to know how long that would add. One thing I will say is once Coyote gets them set up, he will have them looking. I'm going to assume. No, well, I was going to say I'm going to assume, but I'm going to say they probably have some kind of facial recognition software with the chaser program they have. So, and he'll just leave them, and he'll say to just ping him on the net, not even like securely, if they see something, and he's going to go back to his workshop and try to repair up his drones.
Well, facial recognition itself is a separate software. The Chaser probably wouldn't do too good with that because it's more object recognition and tracking. It doesn't do too good with actually recognizing like details of people's face and things like that. That said, it won't. There's not a lot of people coming in or out, so it won't be very hard to actually just go over the faces every now and then to see, because there's no way you can program it to think of every single face that anyone's any face you might know or recognize going in or out. And do you keep that to yourself, or do you pass that along for anyone else to see if they recognize anyone going in or out? I mean, you guys do have some contacts in the place. You do know people. Even Truthsayer knows a handful of people, probably. Yeah,
I will definitely make the camera feed available, and I'll be making recordings of it as well. So what I'll do in that case, since can't just do facial recognition, is that Coyote will just go and he'll come back about 4 hours later and download the data and send it out to everyone.
Works for me.
Yeah, and he'll just come back every 4 or 5 hours or whatever. I don't know how long it takes him to get from his garage to there, but figure that, he wants to fix up his drones, but he also wants to keep an eye on this, so he's kind of dividing his time equally.
Okay, so every now and then you'll just go over the pictures. I mean, it won't take more than like a few seconds out of every hour to just see, hey, anyone else come in, gone out. And then the others are relocated. So what exactly are you doing with...
What? Go ahead, Sean.
What exactly are you doing with the relocation? How exactly are you going about that? Like,
I'm taking the bunny, I'm putting him in the Everglades. Vice is coming with me because I don't know where his bolt hole is. And I don't know how to go about the process of opening it or getting into it. Once we get the bunny there, the bunny is going to be placed somewhere in the bolt hole. He still has the mage cuffs on him. He still has the ties on him to prevent him from, moving his arms or legs unless he can actually brute force his way out of those plastic handcuffs that were placed on him earlier last session. And then his ass is just going to sit there while I take I'm not going to go over my force. I'm going to take 5 hours, my character is, and go about the process of warding the area. Since it's a bolt hole, I imagine it's not that big. I can cover a good amount of, distance with the warding process, enough to ensconce the area in which we're going to be located. And that will be that. That's going to take care of me for the next 5 hours before I even worry about making the rolls, assuming that I'm not interrupted in the process. That takes care of my character and what I do with the bunny. I figured maybe Vice would go back and have something more important to do, but if he wants to stay with me, he can certainly do that. Twitch doesn't need to, though, because she's useful and capable and doesn't need to babysit a bunny.
Yeah, Vice is going to be heading off into the city to be useful. At least that's what I thought he would do.
Does Truthsayer want any drones left behind just in case something happens?
If you want, you don't need my permission as a player or my permission as a character. We're part of this run together, Well,
I mean, I don't want to make unilateral decisions when it's maybe you have something against them. I don't know. Well, in that case, he'll just leave the Doberman behind because he has no use for it in the middle of the city since it has a big stinking gun on it that's pretty obvious.
Okay, so that takes care of the Doberman and Truthsayer for next few hours. Coyote's dropping off his drones and coming back. What is everyone doing then? Go ahead and make me those tests that, what is it? Magic willpower, right?
You
Test
need to make a
set up-
magic plus willpower test, and that would be at the end of the ritual.
Yeah, so go ahead and just make that now.
Okay, I'll go ahead and make it now then.
And if you get interrupted, you just don't actually get it.
Twitch is probably going to go stash her sweet new assault rifle, eat, rest, person things.
Okay, well, while you're doing that, and about an hour or so, close to, or basically as soon as Truthsayer finishes setting up the ward, an hour or two into your surveillance, you do see the girl Allison come out of the bar, and then maybe 10 minutes later come back in.
Okay. I will say that Coyote probably checked that after about 2 hours. So it'll be an hour after the fact. And he will send out everyone, say, all right, you've got the daughter inside the building.
Are you sure it's the daughter?
Well, he's going to send the camera pics.
I'm assuming he'll send a picture, and it'll be a very clear shot of her. I mean, there's no mistaking her. So yeah, just in case, that ward does last 2 weeks.
Resistance test, 4 hits. The amount of damage I had to resist was 5, so I take 1 point of stun damage.
Okay, so we know the woman is inside of the club, where we just sort of. What can we do with this?